Hi and welcome. My name is Victoria and I will be your presenter for this afternoon, where we look at what actually happened this summer. If you're a business, politics or economics student, or you're just a person who wants to find out more about how economics impacts our everyday lives, then hit the subscribe button and I will see you soon with new economics content. Without further ado, let's get on to it. Starting strong with the US, President Trump, who was re-elected president in November last year, threatened 50% tariffs on the EU during May. Trade deals were open, and in August 2025, this summer, the EU announced that the tariffs have gone down to 15% with the US. While there were many other countries who were also able to negotiate and bring down the tariff percentage, there were some countries, like South Africa, that couldn't even get into America to discuss it.
Lesotho is slapped with the White House's highest tariff rates released by President Donald Trump. The US has a big trade deficit with Lesotho, which sells textiles and diamonds to America. The future of the trade deal, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, is now into question.
Keeping with Trump, earlier this year there was a fallout between Trump and Elon Musk, who worked very closely together, especially during Trump's re-election. This fallout was supposedly over the One Big Beautiful Bill. Trump never officially engaged in the bromance is over memes, but there was teasing that Elon Musk would himself announce a new political party. All of these are rumors, but was still an interesting aspect of the summer.
Just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see, and I called Elon. I said, Elon, was that you? He said, yes, it was. Do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon. That's great.
Moving across the pond, we found Starmer's own party revolting against his plan to cut welfare spending. To appease the critics, he made limited cuts, and this was a huge blow to his authority. Many people said that this is just another example of the Labour Party not able to make a decision. While these reviews are subjective, they were not the end of the Labour Party's troubles. Although it's not technically summer, a couple of days ago, the Deputy Prime Minister resigned due to a scandal to do with buying a third house. You can find more on that on more recent news channels, as that is something that is fairly recent. There were also tensions in Iran and Israel when Israel launched surprise attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities. This war, known as the 12-day war, lasted between the 13th of June to the 24th of June, and it was stopped under the US pressures, where Israel had to call a ceasefire, where Israel and Iran both agreed to call for a ceasefire.
And good evening. Tonight we start with breaking news as we come on the air. President Trump calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Iran to be phased in over the next 24 hours.
At the end of July, we had Keir Starmer announcing that the UK would accept a Palestinian state unless Israel called for a ceasefire. This was a big step forward in the Gaza war and has caused a lot of debates and talks between the UN countries and the US, and looking at how it is going to work going forward. The UN had international conferences following this, pushing the two-state idea forward to do with the Gaza war. However, Israel and the US did not participate and boycotted this. Over the following days, the UN had a couple of international meetings pushing the two-state solution. The US and Israel did not attend.
Can I just one other thing I wanted to ask about the two-state solution conference next week. I know the US had said previously, when it was postponed, that it opposed countries going to this conference in New York. Do you have a position on it this time?
Nothing further beyond saying that we will not be in attendance of that conference.
Around mid-August, we had Trump and Putin meeting in Alaska to discuss the Ukraine-Russia war.
And good afternoon. We are coming on the air with breaking news right now from Alaska, a high-stakes moment on the world stage. Right now, we are expecting President Trump on board Air Force One on the tarmac there at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, just a few miles away from where we are here in Anchorage, to walk down from Air Force One. At any moment now, we also expect later to see Russian President Vladimir Putin when his plane lands as well at that base.
Trump did hint that Ukraine should look at territorial concessions, however, no decisions were met. There's been some criticism around this meeting, with people saying that Zelensky should actually be part of the conversation since it is his country that is also at war. With that being said, that is the end of the summer roundup. While that is not every single thing that happened during the summer, for example, I didn't mention the fact that Macron and his wife were suing podcasters for calling his wife a man previously, but it is a good overview of what actually happened. If there are any topics that you found were particularly interesting and wanted more detail on, you can let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to do deeper dives into them. If you liked the video, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you soon with more content.